couple was tragically captured by an alien monster. The woman desperately looked at her husband beside her, powerless to stop the monster from conducting some sort of experiment on her. As the monster placed an experimental apparatus on her chest, a laser suddenly descended from the sky, instantly turning her to ash. Jake watched helplessly as it all happened. Then, the monster turned towards Jake, preparing to start on him. It took off its metallic wrist guard and set it aside, picking up a laser knife to make an incision in his abdomen. Jake, in extreme pain, unleashed a primal strength, seized the laser knife, and swung at the monster's face. In the chaos, he accidentally put on the metallic wrist guard and managed to escape while the monster was disoriented. Not long after escaping the alien base, Jake fainted due to his condition. When he woke up, he found himself in a desolate desert with a wound in his abdomen and the metallic wrist guard still on his hand, but with no memory of what had just happened. As he tried to remove the wrist guard, 3 bounty hunters appeared, mistaking him for an escaped convict due to his wound and wrist guard, and prepared to take him away for the bounty. Jake immediately fought back, defeated all 3, donned their clothes, rode to a nearby town, and with the help of a priest, treated his wound. Just then, a bullet flew into the church, startling Jake and the priest. It turned out to be Percy causing trouble again, bullying residents and merchants because his father virtually ruled the town. Not only did he refuse to pay for his drinks at the bar, but he also fired his gun recklessly. The bar owner complained a few times before he was threatened at gunpoint to kneel down and apologize. The priest immediately intervened to help the owner. When Percy comes to Jake while collecting protection money from onlookers, he delivers Percy's fatal blow. Enraged, Percy aimed his gun at Jake, who walked away uninterested. Percy attempted a warning shot but accidentally hit the deputy sheriff nearby. The sheriff, who arrived just in time, wouldn't let the attack on a police officer go unpunished, so the troublemaker Percy was taken back to the station. Jake's actions caught the attention of a woman. As he was drinking at the bar, Ella approached him, seemingly interested in the wrist guard on his hand. Just then, Jake sensed a killing intent behind him, only to find the sheriff had returned. After taking Percy back to the station, the sheriff discovered Jake was a high-profile fugitive and returned to arrest him as well. The sheriff decided to hand over both Percy and Jake to the federal police and planned to move out overnight to prevent Percy's father from intervening. Just as they were about to leave, Percy's father, Woodrow, arrived with his man, demanding his son's release, which the sheriff refused. As the standoff continued, people were shocked by something rapidly approaching from the distance, and Jake's wrist guard started flashing. An unidentified flying object quickly reached the town and began bombing it, causing chaos. People tried to flee, but the craft emitted ropes to capture them indiscriminately. An ordinary pistol would do nothing against it. The sheriff attempted a rescue but was captured by the craft. Jake's wrist guard reacted again, its appearance changing drastically. Understanding the hologram that appeared, he tried it on the prison wagon, blowing a hole in it with surprising power. By the time Jake escapes, Woodrow takes the opportunity to save his son as well, but within a few steps of running away, his son is captured by the flying machine again. Jake then targeted the craft with the alien weapon, successfully bringing it down. From the peculiar shape of the craft, it was obvious that it was not a product of Earth, but an alien ship. Just as the crowd gathered around the airship to discuss it, there was a sudden scream from the house off to the side, accompanied by horrible hisses and gunshots, and the people inside died instantly and horribly. Then the monster rushed out of the house and disappeared in a flash, leaving only a huge footprint. Apparently, the monster and the ship were in cahoots. Even the direction of escape was the same. To save those captured, the townspeople decided to set aside their differences and unite to pursue the alien creature. They set out following the creature's tracks early the next day. However, Jake decided not to join them, recalling the way home despite his temporary amnesia. Returning to his familiar home, Jake regained some of his lost memories. He remembered being attacked by the alien creature after bringing gold coins home, which not only took the coins but also captured him and his wife for experiments. Realizing those captured would face the same fate, Jake decided to join the search for the monster. Their search continued into the evening without sighting the creature, and a sudden heavy rain erased its tracks. Just then, a stranded ship appeared ahead, so it was unanimously decided to go in first to get out of the rain. As Jake tended to his wound, Ella approached him again, hoping he could recall everything to lead them to the alien base. However, Jake's memories were still fragmented. Suddenly, the wrist guard flashed, signaling another alien creature's approach. The dog that Emmett brought was the first to sense the danger and barked incessantly at the front. The dog suddenly sprang away, followed by a miserable wailing. Emmett hid, but the creature found him and prepared to capture him. Fortunately, an old man arrived in time to distract the creature, only to be impaled by it. Jake managed to drive the creature away with his weapon. But the old man lost his life. After burying the old man, the group continued their pursuit, only to encounter bandits. As they chase each other, the alien ship joins the melee, and after a furious bombardment, the ship begins capturing people again. This time, even Ella didn't escape. Jake chased after the craft, boarded it, and used his wrist weapon to bring it down over a river, narrowly escaping with their lives. As they clambered onto the shore and took a moment to rest, the monster piloting the spacecraft suddenly emerged from the water and launched Ella hundreds of meters away with a punch. Jake quickly activated his weapon and killed the monster, but Ella, lying on the ground, was already gasping for her last breaths. After Jake reunited with the others while holding her, Ella's injuries were too severe, and she couldn't survive. Before anyone has time to grieve, a group of local Indians suddenly appear, kidnap them back to their tribe, and throw Ella's body into a fire to be cremated. The tribe had also suffered attacks from the alien monsters, and the chief believed Jake and his companions had brought the monsters to them, intending to kill them. Just as they were about to act, a loud explosion erupted from the fire, and Ella, wearing no clothes, walked out of the flames. Jake wrapped her in a blanket, her ability clearly not of this world. Jake had mistakenly thought Ella was allied with the monsters, but she explained that although she was indeed an alien visitor, she was from another galaxy and not allied with the monsters. Her people had also been invaded by these alien monsters, who were scouts. They captured humans to study their weaknesses, and once found, would summon an army to launch a full-scale invasion of Earth. Their goal was to plunder gold, which was of extreme importance to them. Ella had come to Earth to offer help and prevent the same tragedy from happening. Now, they urgently needed to locate the alien base, and Jake, the only person to have escaped from it, was hoped to recover his memory soon. Hearing this, the chief offered help and brewed a herbal concoction for Jake, which remarkably helped him recall certain images and successfully lock onto the location of the alien base. By daylight, they found the alien base but were at a loss on how to attack this massive structure. Given the advanced technology of the alien monsters, their only advantage was the alien weapon in Jake's possession, but even then, they were understaffed. While discussing strategies, they turned to find Jake had already left on horseback, not to flee but to seek assistance, targeting the bandits who had robbed them earlier. These bandits were only after money, and the alien base was sure to contain endless gold. Using gold as bait, Jake successfully convinced the group of miscreants to join them. Seeing Jake return with a large force, everyone's confidence soared, and they immediately split up to act. The chief led the tribe to occupy the high ground. Then Jake and a few others infiltrated the alien base, placed bombs, and successfully detonated them, destroying several alien spacecraft. However, this action thoroughly enraged the alien monsters, which attacked in a swarm, and the charge squad, which had been ready for a long time, met the battle head-on. Led by Woodrow, the Indian tribes on the higher ground, though backwardly armed, were putting out as much frantic output as they could, but the monsters were not only physically formidable, their weaponry was excessively advanced. Direct confrontation seemed utterly hopeless. Their only hope now rested on Jake. At that moment, Jake and Ella, using the same secret passage they had escaped through before, entered the heart of the base, where the alien monsters were using advanced technology to continuously refine gold from beneath the ground. Delving deeper, they finally discovered the captured humans, who stared blankly at a glowing object above, seemingly trapped in some sort of hallucination. Jake, out of curiosity, glanced at it and was instantly frozen in place. Ella shot the glowing object, shattering it, and in doing so, not only freed Jake but also rescued the others. However, as Ella was about to untie them, the roaring of monsters filled their ears, and countless beasts attacked them in a frenzy. To buy Ella time to save the people, Jake chose to confront them, relying on the alien technology on his wrist and his flawless marksmanship. He managed to hold off the monsters' frenzied assault. But after rescuing everyone, Ella chose not to leave but to venture deeper into the base, because only by destroying it completely could they end this nightmare. As more monsters joined the fight, the humans were nearly overwhelmed. In desperation, some chose to sacrifice themselves along with the monsters. Meanwhile, Emmett, observing the battle from a mountaintop, accidentally attracted the attention of one of the monsters. As the creature climbed up, Emmett quickly hid in a cave but was still discovered. Fortunately, the small entrance temporarily blocked the creature, which then pressed its chest against the entrance, opened its shell, and extended tentacles to capture him. Exposing its vulnerability, Emmett decisively stabbed the creature with a knife, killing it. Meanwhile, Jake and Ella had found the base's internal entrance. Ella decided to infiltrate alone, using the weapon on Jake's wrist to destroy the base completely. Jake didn't realize Ella planned to sacrifice herself along with the base until it was too late. Suddenly, a shell struck, revealing Jake's location to a monster, which launched a ferocious attack. Jake narrowly escaped death, finding himself in the familiar laboratory where he and his wife had been experimented on by the aliens. But as he was absorbed in thought, another monster appeared and pinned him to an operating table. This monster, disfigured by Jake earlier, picked up a laser knife, intending to continue the unfinished experiment. At the critical moment, the monster was shot by Woodrow, who had arrived just in time. With the monster distracted, Jake freed himself and launched a relentless attack, knocking the creature into a gold refining machine. Jake seized the opportunity to fire another shot. The hot golden water instantly poured down, directly drenching the monster's body, and the poor monster was scalded alive like this, unexpectedly. Just then, the whole base suddenly shook. It turns out that this huge building is also a huge alien ship. Perhaps sensing that the situation is not good, the alien monster tries to escape from Earth. Seeing that the place was about to collapse, Jake and Woodrow rushed to escape and finally managed to escape at the last moment. The spacecraft's escape was ominous, as its return could spell Earth's destruction. Fortunately, Ella had reached the spacecraft's core and activated the alien weapon's self-destruct system. Sacrificing her life to thwart the aliens' insane plan. As gold rained down, Jake couldn't find joy in the treasure, having lost not only his wife but also his newly found alien companion. In the film's finale, the abducted townspeople were finally reunited with their families. The gold made every townsfolk suddenly wealthy, leading to a carefree life. Jake, who preferred solitude, chose to leave the town, continuing his